Trey Lexvold. In 2017, 73 million households were powered by nuclear energy. This is according to the United States Department of Energy, the government branch designed on taking statistics and monitoring our energy use, published in their annual report. We all remember the nuclear energy debate with Ms. Post in 9th grade and the outcomes of that. The United States Federal Energy Regulatory Commission should switch the United States to nuclear power. First, I will tell you the problems with our current methods, and then I will tell you why nuclear energy is the superior option. America currently doesn't have a reliable energy source. There is solar energy, but solar energy is very expensive to make the panels, and the panels contain harmful chemicals like lead and cadmium. That is according to Nick Gromrico, a published author in numerous science journals and published in the International Journal, which was published in 2018. And they're very unreliable. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to look up at the sky, see that it's cloudy, and realize that solar energy won't work. There's also wind energy, which wind energy has a big environmental impact because they contain the same chemicals, lead and cadmium, which the mines destroy huge amounts of wildlife and farmland and other stuff like that. And they're very expensive to put up, and they don't warrant the price tag that they have. And they're very noisy and ugly to look at. Then there's also hydroelectric energy, which also has a lot of environmental impacts. When they dam up a river or lake, the backflow can destroy huge amounts of wildlife, farmlands, and homes. And it's very expensive to make. According to John Dimsdale, who has a master's degree in master's in broadcast journalism from Missouri, in a publication on the National Public Radio published in 2018, stated that the Hoover Dam would cost $750 million today, and it doesn't warrant that price tag. And there are very limited resources and spaces that we can put a dam to create hydroelectric energy. You can't just dam up any river and expect it to work. And then there's fossil fuels. Fossil fuels create huge amounts of pollution, and we all know the problems with pollution. And they're unsustainable. We all know why that we can't just rely on these things forever and expect them to always be there. There's a limited amount. And they're very dangerous to get. According to David L. Devine, who is a part of the Department of Earth Science and Marine Science at the University of California, in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science of the United States of America, published in 2014, stated that 5 million barrels of oil was spilled in the Deepwater Horizon incident. That is the incident where an oil rig bust open and spilled 5 million barrels of oil into the Gulf of Mexico. And it created a huge environmental disaster. Now that you have the evidence of the current methods, I'll tell you why nuclear energy is the superior option. Nuclear energy has a very high energy potential. According to Marvin Baker Schaefer, an expert in nuclear physics, in his book, Energy Policy, published in 2013, stated that 1 pellet of nuclear fuel can create as much energy as 1 whole metric ton of coal. That is a very high amount of energy potential for such little fuel. And it is very cheap to get. Yes, if you look into the price of a reactor and a facility, you may not like the price tag of it. But overall, after 10 years, 20 years, the amount of energy that it produces vastly outweighs that price tag. And scientists have found thorium. Thorium is 3 times more abundant than uranium, the current element used in most reactors. And thorium can be used without little to no adjusting to the reactor. This is according to Ewan McLeish, the director of the Council of Environmental Education, in his book, The Pros and Cons of Nuclear Energy, written in 2014. And it is safe now. The problem is that when everyone thinks of nuclear energy, they think of Chernobyl. Well, Chernobyl was 32 years ago. Many people can't get that thought out of their head. And it has been vastly upgraded and with safety precautions and multiple other things, even in the disposal. With the disposal, we found that isolation is the best use. Isolation is a combination of engineered and natural barriers, like rock, salt, or clay, and it has no obligation to maintain a facility, and is passed on to future generations so that they can maintain, with little to no worry. This is according to the IAEA, or International Atomic Energy Agency, which has worked for over 60 years for the peaceful use of nuclear energy, written in the World Nuclear Journal, published in 2018. And there is a bright future if we switch to nuclear power. Everyone can have a cheap and easy way to get power, and it can greatly help us expand in the future. The United States Federal Energy Regulatory Commission should switch the United States to nuclear power. First, I told you the problems with our current methods. Then, I told you why nuclear energy is the best option. Now, those 73 million households, if we switch to nuclear energy, we could add millions more to that 73 million.